And we're live. Good evening for those who are joining us for our podcast this evening. How are you guys doing? Hope everything's good company for everybody coming in. Thank you so much for joining us. Y'all know why we're here. We tried, or I was trying. I told the guys earlier that I was trying to take a break, like 1 day break from the podcast, but things keep happening, which prevents us from taking a rest.
We're in an election year.
So
bro.
we
Good luck
had,
with that.
yeah. So of course, everybody knows the debates were last night. Was it last night? Yeah, last night.
Yes.
And it was exactly what we thought it was going to be. A shit show. The dumpster fire.
Yes. I was saying that regard, yes.
Oh, you sound like exactly the guy for CNN.
Oh, was that-
exactly what they said.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So yeah. So the Biden Trump debate was last night. It was the first debate. I think they said they're supposed to do 4.
It's two more. It's two more.
Two more? It's 2 more? Okay.
And
Two
one
more and
vice
then one
presidential,
VP.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was last night. Bam. If you watched the whole thing, you better than me. I couldn't get past. I kept turning it off.
I did.
Turning
I
the
did
channel.
as well.
You
I
watched
watched
the
the whole
entire
thing.
thing?
I watched
man.
the entire debate.
I was
In
intoxicated.
one sitting.
So,
Say what now?
In one
I said
sitting.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
in one sitting.
intoxicated, So I made it through.
Oh, you had to drink to watch it.
No, man,
Not
I'm
that
so
intoxicated.
Mm. So anyway, takeaway for
So
me, in short and sweet, the takeaway for me is we are fucked. 300 million people, and this is who we whittled it down to. I really don't know where to go. You can't really say I'm a vote for who I know. I think somebody's term was I'm a vote for the devil I know.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
What up,
even then, man. Nah, I couldn't. There were a couple things said last night that I'm like, the devil that I know is probably a stretch.
Yeah.
But I know we'll get into it, but yeah.
So, damn, I don't even know where to start with this thing. I mean, it was
we could always say like what things they talked about, like the 6 segments that they were.
Well, were the 6 segments? Do you have those?
All right,
there?
so you had, of course, COVID-19. Then they went into the economy. Then it was a discussion about the Supreme Court. The one that's probably most talked about right now is race and violence.
Yeah.
Then you got
Lord.
into Then you got into their records, as politicians / president, and then the integrity of the election were the 6 topics that they went to. And yeah, it's man. See, man, I think the thing about it for me is that, regardless of who you said wins, America still lost. Because there is no way, and Brian, I'm just echoing what you said. It's like we have 350 million people as possibilities to hold this office, and it comes down to 2 septuagenarians who one has been a bully his entire life, and the other, we've basically made it a benchmark just to see whether or not he's about to go into Shady Acres next week. So, I mean, if this is the best that we can do to hold the office for president, we're screwed. And I'm not saying that lightly, and I hate to sound like a pessimist, but man.
Yuzzo, what you think, man?
I got a lot of thoughts right now. Real quick on what Richard just said. I didn't get the feeling of the screwed part because I already feel like we were. Like I understand why the Democratic Party went the Biden route. Familiarity, black women are like the main voting sector that come out and always vote for like one candidate, and they know Biden was a familiar face. They did the Kamala thing, so I totally understand that. I was just blown last night by the fact that they should have thought about another way to do the debate, because if we have not all been watching for the last, what as Trump says, 47 months, so I'm gonna keep using his term, they know he has no like way to filter or shut the fuck up, to where they may have to exercise the option to shut off his mic, because I don't think Biden really got to get in any points before he got cut off. Before like the last 30 minutes, Biden was smart enough, like, can I claim some of my time back? Because he keeps talking over me. Yeah. And when he did that, I think he was able to get points around. But of course, your man kept talking over because, as I say, little dick energy. Like, he's always pressed when somebody says something about him, but yet he always dishes out the energy. Like, as a man, I was insulted as a man. Like, I'm not that small of myself not to take constructive criticism. Like, Biden sat there and took it when he said stuff. Just shut the hell up, said it. And then he made his rebuttal. That's how debate works. But my man lives in like some other universe because he's psycho. So I really didn't look at it as a debate. I just look at it as like, that dude had a meltdown on stage because he can't take constructive criticism of the things he truly did, and then he lied every 13 seconds, if not more frequently.
See, I told you they were going to change the rules, so they might be turning up his mic. So what'd you get from it, man?
So I don't have that many brain cells to waste on it. So I didn't want to lose any more than I already lost, but I mean, it's embarrassing that this is the choices that we have, but I'd rather deal with everybody, the whole devil I know shit. Fuck that. Give me a new devil, man.
Just give us a better candidate. And
you know what I mean?
See, in that, I mean, I know this is probably not going to be the popular opinion, but there is a libertarian candidate that's out there, Jo Jorgensen. And I mean, I might not agree with any of her viewpoints, but the reality of it is, at least she's another option. It's like we're stuck on a path. Either you can go red or blue, and that's it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I understand. We have options. I mean, shit, write me in for fucking 2020. But we know the majority of the country is either one way or the other.
And that's sad.
Well, one way or the other, or in the middle. And then there's no other. Nothing else is allowed, apparently. So
you mean outside of the two-party system?
Yeah.
Got
it. Two-party.
We kind of smirk and laugh at somebody when they say they're voting for like a libertarian person or a Green Party candidate or something like that. So we kind of shame people into picking these one or two candidates.
I don't know.
We shouldn't do that. And I think that is the antithesis of how voting should work. Because I mean, correct. You as a voter should exercise the right to vote for a candidate that has your ideas, your values, your interests, while at the same time is supposed to lift the American people in such a way to where all of us prosper together. Like, that's kind of what we're supposed to be doing here. I mean, last night, in terms of debate, and I know we're probably like just going to jump between ideas here, but in terms of performance, Biden looked better, but it wasn't hard to do that compared to who he was going with.
If you were to take Biden's performance last night and put him in a different time with one of the candidates in the past, he wouldn't have looked good at all.
No, not at all.
No, but that wasn't prime Biden either.
Yeah.
But I think there's two ways to look at it too. How can you really, like, let's say a football analogy, how can you really play the game where you keep getting flags thrown on bullshit, even though like you didn't commit the penalty? You start and stop. Yeah. I felt like he never really had a chance to get into his, I say, bag.
Well, see, and that was one of the things. That was one of the things I don't think anybody you kind of knew you know how Trump's going to be.
Mhm.
You know how he's going to answer questions and interrupt and all that shit because he hadn't changed. But I don't think Biden was mentally prepared for it because he kept
the
letting
shit
him
that
take
he's
him
gonna
off the
say.
game. Yeah, he would be
Yeah.
on the straight path, but Trump knew where to poke him at.
You know, I will say this though,
Mhm.
is that yeah, I would agree, but not in the reason that I would want to go about it. So I wouldn't say Biden was prepared for the questions, the topics, because Biden was able to actually give an analysis of the numbers that he was given. So I think he was good there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I will say that from the standpoint of mental acuity, that's not a talking point that those who want to see him fail can really talk about, because I think he held his own from the standpoint of saying like, well, we're wondering about if he's losing it or not. Like I don't think he's definitely still got his chops at least, or he got a really good night's sleep last night, right? The night before. So I think that's there. The thing is that when Trump kept interjecting, like you said, all he's doing is just upsetting the apple cart. And I think he did all right, but the moment that you could see when the switch cut off is when he talked about his son.
Bruh.
That was the moment where Biden, because most times he was like talking at him, or not at him, he was talking around him. But when he mentioned his son, which I thought Trump that was an extremely low blow. Like you don't bring someone's family into a discussion, especially someone who's had a drug abuse problem, right? And Biden was very upfront about it. You don't bring that in and then expect to like just walk off with it. And that's what I'm concerned about with this debate, is that you got somebody who is willing to go as low as they can to beat you, just for the sake of just winning, right? It's like that statement says, it's like don't argue with a fool because they'll drag you down and beat you with experience. And I think that's where we are. Is like Biden needs to be careful because he's going to keep pushing those buttons like that, and we don't need to get into that kind of fight because Trump's going to win it. To be honest,
off of sheer stupidity, he'll win. Just
right?
He can't shut the fuck up, and he's.
It's like, oh, he's so great.
Yeah. So,
quick question: how do people view that as power, as him being powerful, to where he gets in his feelings about anything you say to him?
It's the remember I think I said it a while back, when you talk loud and fast, people believe anything you say.
Ben Shapiro is a clear example.
My God, it's never smart. Just because you went to Ivy League school, he's an idiot. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He seems really sure, and instead of actually listening to what people are saying when they seem really sure, you just take it as sincerity and you take it as strength. So I think that's where a lot of people are getting caught up, because, like I said, he's talking loud and fast, and people just buy it. I mean, he's a salesman.
We have the thing called used car salesman. And it's like we say that term, but we know like that's a term we use because they get it done by any means necessary. Lie.
I gotta address this real quick. Well, Mr. Brian, I'm not sure it's your statement because he didn't have the opportunity to share his plan for American people. I believe that Biden was prepared. On the interruption, discombobulated. The thing was prepared for the onslaught of 45 shenanigans. When I said Biden wasn't prepared, I wasn't talking about his knowledge of what he was talking about.
And that's
what I thought Richard was explaining. Yeah,
that's exactly what I was saying. That's exactly
Biden,
what I said.
if you would have let him talk, like if you let Biden talk, he had clear plans for everything that they asked him, and it were clear.
There were one or two I'd have to push back on. There were one or two where I could tell he didn't have an answer. And those two things were, one was him packing the courts, because he dodged that question like his feet were on coals. So that was one. But the second one was when they started talking about the environment and changing some of the restrictions for, because Biden kept talking about removing things for the EPA. But the thing is when the question came back to him stating, well, how are we going to change our economy to move towards this new renewable sources of energy? He really didn't have an answer for it, because everything that we do as of right now is based on fossil fuels. I mean, we just don't have the infrastructure yet to support, this more, like solar, wind, and natural gas. Like, we just don't have it as our primary source yet.
Yeah.
So I mean, he did dance around a couple things. So, I mean, but
like you said, and like you went after I said it earlier, he was prepared with answers. Not all the answers. He was prepared with answers. He was not prepared for the attack that was happening because it took him off. I mean, you poke anybody and they're gonna, react. But it was just you can't do that at that point. You have to have more control. And it's like, I think he was given an answer one time, and I can't remember what it was, but he was, looking straight at the moderator, and Trump just kept digging at him. And right when he looked at Trump, I was like, oh, he's gone. He's off track. He looked at him like, get what I was saying? I'm going to address you. And that's where everything just went off.
I think it was about his son. I think that was the moment.
But
I will say this: he's a better man than me to address it in the moment without like going off the rocker in that moment. Because I said a podium would have got thrown. Ain't no way.
Well, just kept having to rock the podium because it was like
it was gonna go that way.
Don't worry about it.
I'm like, fuck it, guys, fuck it. I'm sorry. You deserve it. I'm sorry.
All right, so we're gonna dance around it, but go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
We gotta address what happened with the racial conversation, the race conversation.
Oh yes.
All right, so there was a point in the debate where they asked Trump if he would speak against white supremacy and speak against the violence that the white supremacists have been doing, and shit got kind of weird because he got really loud when he brought it up.
Yeah.
He was like, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? Yeah, and he was like, who do you want me to speak against? And then they brought up the Proud Boys. Everybody knows the Proud Boys is a white supremacist organization. And instead of doing something simple like, oh, I don't stand for that. Oh, I don't like those guys. Oh, screw those guys. Anything. He could have said anything. He said, oh, the Proud Boys. Yeah, stand back and stand by. And then tried to move on. So for us, everybody that was watching was like, holy shit, he just kind of militarized white supremacist organization, which I felt like he did. And he drew it back today saying he had no idea who that group of people were.
God.
Yeah, I just watched that before I got on with y'all.
All right, so there's two. You know what, man? There's two things in the debate that cleared up what his position on race were. So you had that one, but if you go back a little bit earlier, there was a question that he had about sensitivity training on race, and pretty much Trump said that, long story short is that if you were a certain person, the roles would be reversed. Now, think about what racial sensitivity training is by its own definition. It's being aware of, the differences between different people and cultures and being sensitive of those things, right? So you're saying that if you're a certain person, the roles were reversed. In most cases, when we're talking about racial sensitivity training, it's about usually the majority, which in America is white, engaging with people in other ethnic capacities, right? So if we're talking about role reversal here, what are you saying? What is the implied statement about that? Are you saying that, that minorities are now superior, but by saying that, you're now saying that whites were supposed to be superior prior to? So you had that moment coupled with this one. It just kind of brought all the pieces together, right? Because now it's like before, you're the way you have to kind of look at this differently now. Because for me, it's not only that piece, but this actually shows how low he is willing to go to win. And that's the scary part, because it's not like he's just saying these things and he's not just going to be like, you know what, I'm going to condemn this group. Because let's be honest, he actually did in 2017 when the Charlottesville stuff happened. He actually did condemn the KKK, neo-Nazis. So that's fact. But the problem is that in 2016, 2017, he didn't have to worry about being reelected. We're now in 2020, and it's now like, well, I got to keep my base to keep things going forward. Because remember how he used to flip-flop about the wall? Like, it used to be that Mexico was going to build it. Then when he found out it wasn't polling well, then he changed his tune. It's the same thing here. All he's doing is he's just building up he wants to keep his base where it is. And he'll say whatever he has to say until he gets elected, and then he'll go ahead and he'll shit on him in a minute, just like any other ethnic group that he'll do just to get their vote.
Real,
because he popped out the. Okay, go ahead.
No. Finish that thought.
Oh yeah, just like he popped out the plan with the African Americans like last week.
The platinum plan.
Platinum plan.
I was like, niggas love platinum.
If it would have been gold, I would have been like, you know what? I could just laugh at it.
But platinum, my nigga. Platinum.
Right.
Okay.
Well, what the fuck? Ryan. What is that? What the fuck is the platinum plan? What are we getting? But
nothing. It's
just all song and dance. Just like these people going to sit here and pine for him and think that he's with them. These some of the these white supremacists that hold him so high, they're in bad situations financially, you know, and they think, I don't know what they think is gonna happen after he gets elected, but he's gonna forget about them just as quickly as he's gonna forget about this platinum deal.
Thank you, Brian. Right. Thank you. I'm happy you brought that up. I feel very bad for them because I think they're following this false prophet right now who thinks riding for him that he's done nothing for him. And like, let's say if he magically gets reelected, like he's really not going to think about them at all. And I'm like, have they realized like nothing? They really don't take them seriously at all. Like the opioid crisis, he's not addressed anything to do it. Hell, Mitch McConnell, his state has one of the worst issues with opioids, Kentucky. He not doing nothing with it, but yet that state takes all his federal dollars to help companies and everything else. But yet Kentucky's one of the poorest states in the nation. That doesn't add up.
Funny.
That doesn't add up.
That you mentioned that, but Chris Wallace hit him with that same question because it was talking about how like there are problems with Democrat governors of states and cities that are run by a Democrat, but then he mentioned, well, like places in Texas and areas like that have similar problems, but then he went and switched it right back to Portland and Chicago. It's like Chicago's like the only example.
Always Chicago on there.
Chicago and maybe Baltimore, right? It's like those are the two. But we can list a whole bunch of states, especially southern states, because
we could just name them all.
Right. Because it's like if you look at where they are from a standpoint of education, it's like, well, how well are you really doing?
We can name them all. There's a positive correlation between GOP ran states, education, poverty, and general health of citizens. There's a positive correlation. It ain't a good one, if you know what I mean. Sosa.
Hi.
I miss your viewpoints, man. Hit us with something.
Jesus Christ.
Because I feel like I'm talking a lot now.
Right.
Well, so now that I shut the fuck up, everybody be
like, we are just making sure you're still here, so that's all. That is all we're doing right now.
I'm here. I don't know.
Thank you, Sosa.
Sosa's here right now, just like Donald Trump's tax returns.
Isn't that crazy? It's so bad. I just thought about that right before when you were talking, Rich. We haven't even got to the $750 shit yet.
Bruh.
It just hit me. I forgot.
How? Man, like how? How? Like there is no way that we're saying like he even said during the debate, and this is the second time he said it because he said this exact same thing or something similar in during the 2016 election, where he was saying how, you know, him being so smart was taking advantage of the loopholes within the tax code. It's like, so you a sneak. Like that's how we doing it right now. You know,
and that's not something presidential to say. You're supposed to do your part. That's why I like read a lot of
presidential. Give me 3.
You're right, but like for me, I like to read a lot of stuff about Kennedy. Like Kennedy had some ideals, and that's why I kind of think he got assassinated. Like he had a lot of ways to change the country where it would benefit everybody and not just the elite. Even though he came for the elite, but he knew like this ain't the right way to run things.
Anybody who had ideas to move us forward without patting the pockets of the really, really rich people, they were taken out.
Yeah.
I mean, like Kennedy, Gaddafi, all these guys. Yeah.
His brother was help uplift like the Hispanic community in like California and places like that. They didn't like that either. That was another thing that played into his death, in my opinion. But, you know, no conspiracy theories tonight.
But anyway, so should they even continue with the like last night? The debate?
No,
that should be it.
I
don't
think so. I don't think they need to, because he's not going to change. He's not going to straighten up unless they legitly cut the mic. But he'll have a conniption, might run over the damn Biden's and talking his for all I know. I don't trust him.
That would be the most awkward thing ever to see.
And Biden should mush him.
Oh man.
What about like a more organized redo?
No.
You
know, here's the thing.
Let him shut up. That's what he needed to do.
Like, I don't think these debates do anything, to be honest, because there's a couple of factors here, right? One of which is that any of the rules that you typically would follow within a debate, I mean, let's go back to high school, right? Like your old debate rules, if you were part of like a debate team or something, right? Like they have far more levels of consistency on how to respond to the actual question, and it's not about winning. That's the thing about all of it. This is just nothing but political theater, right? Because it's just who can pump their chest, you know, the loudest and smother their opponent is really all this is about. Ooh. So that's factor one. Two, you also have that, you know, I hate to say it, but our electorate is uninformed. Like we get half truths. People just read headlines. They're not concerned with actually understanding how government works, the understanding that, you know, to be perfectly honest, the president is nothing more than the signer of the check, whereas your congressman
evidently Rich was the captain. You missed
no. I wasn't on it.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, but in general, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But he's really, I'm not saying the president is not an important person because he represents an entire branch of government, but the reality of it is that he is the person who kind of moves the country in a certain direction, but Congress is the one who actually makes the laws that people are talking about during these debates. So it's
you could almost look at him as like a CEO in a sense.
That's really all the president technically should be, which I still find funny is because Donald Trump is bankrupted 4 times and people actually still think that that's a good thing because he showed how he persevered. I'm like,
I'll give you one.
Here's the thing. This is the reality of it. You know, once it's random, twice is a coincidence, 3 is a pattern. You got 4
is he figured out a loophole.
At 4, you just doing it because you know you're going to get out of it.
Right.
To where he just throwing people money. He's like, let it burn. I'll get it back.
Nah, man. I think unless we are going to redesign how we are supposed to use these, because they're not informative. They don't like what did you learn last night that you didn't know before? I mean, it just basically the only thing I learned last night, to be honest, is that, oh, you know what? Joe Biden's not going to go into a nursing home. He's doing okay.
That's about the longest time I ever watched Trump without changing the channel. I've never watched him for an hour and a half straight ever. It didn't hit me until today. I've never watched him that long.
I think you got like a little bit more gray in your beard since you watched that shit last night.
Yeah. I learned this. Hell, I got one of my eyebrows. The thing I learned is that he lies on a level that I have never seen anywhere.
Yeah.
Not on TV, not even in a movie, not even in a TV show. In real life, I've never seen somebody lie so much.
Mhm.
I think he actually believes it. That's why I say he's a psychopath.
I just looking at Brandy's comment, I would have to completely agree, because if this is becoming a circus, it's like no one really, a lot of undecided voters last night, they really were just like, I don't like, none of this looks good. I mean, you literally have, like, this is supposed to be like, we're supposed to be the beacon of, hope for the world and all that stuff. But if you look at that, like, if this is the best we could do. And that's I think, to me, that's the biggest thing that's an issue, right? Because even if we get back to the Democratic primary, right, I'm not saying you had to like the people that were kind of up and coming, but at least they had some new ideas and their approaches to things were different. And now we're back at either more of the same, which is a reminder of how
again.
Yeah, we're back to, remember how we were saying, like, if Hillary would have won, it would have been, nothing would have changed. And I kind of feel that this is going to be the same way here. If Biden wins, nothing's really going to change. And I think that's, for me, the most disheartening thing is even if you get Trump out, it's like, how is America going to progress from this point forward?
Just like, how do you intertwine like a lot of the thoughts of like the bright younger people, like at AOC, like Ayanna, like people like that? Like, how do you bring those things to light? Because right now, based on some of the things he talked about, they were saying, is that Green New Deal? And he said, no, it's like his plan. I'm like,
right.
Is it elements of Green New Deal? I think that would have been a good thing to throw in there, because that would give kind of like the nod to like the younger people coming up, because that's the only thing I did not like from Biden for the most part.
Yeah,
I didn't like
he said he said he was the Democratic Party. It's like, oh, okay, Judge Dredd. All right.
Oh yeah. I didn't care. I know he had to flex some power. I felt him then. I understood where he was coming from.
Shit, what was I about to say?
I don't know.
I feel like you said nothing's going to change. I honestly feel like a change of power would. It's going to get real bad, and I'm talking about the emotion in the country.
I got you.
Now.
Right.
Like, the change of power needs to happen because the emotion needs to calm the fuck down. Like, y'all need to shut the fuck up, calm down, take a nap, and the only way that's going to happen is if Trump is out of office. It's going to get real bad.
I'd agree.
Like that first month or so, maybe first 2 or 3 months, but they'll just get quiet and get back to life. And that's what we need. We need that change. As long as this man is in this White House, outside is just going to be a horrible place.
And I hope if Biden wins, people don't just think like a celebration, like we did it. I hope they know, like, this is work we got to put in forever. Like, were we talking about in the chat? Talking about like things on a macro and micro level. Was that us talking in the chat?
Yeah, I think we were.
Yeah. Richard, you were bringing it up, and it's like, this should invigorate people to understand, like, this is what happens when you don't vote at the local level. Even Trump brought it up, the things about the courts, the things people don't pay attention to.
Right.
Like, these federal courts are getting packed by Republicans that could fuck up our livelihood. And I want people to understand that it's not just the shit at the top, it's the shit at the middle and like right at our local level that really affects your daily life more so than a person sitting at whatever.
That's why we got pretty trees all downtown and we can't drive on the goddamn street.
You got to think.
I mean,
it's
funny, but you're right, because and I think that's the biggest thing about all of this discussion, right? Because there are people who are saying that I don't want to vote because I don't feel like my vote matters. I don't care about this stuff. But the thing about it though is that if you really, it's kind of like the same way people talk about the Second Amendment.
What up, Bobby?
The way you approach it is like this. It's a valuable right once you understand how that right works. So the same thing applies with your right to vote, because you are able to literally change the infrastructure around you, the way people treat you on all levels. Because, for example, with a lot of the situations that are going on in local governments about how the police is treating their constituents, Well, the police chief is probably appointed by the mayor.
Yep.
And if that mayor runs for re-election, guess what happens if you switch that mayor? It is quite likely if that police chief was doing some things that would cause that mayor to pull downward, guess what happens to that police chief?
Imbi Guan.
Right. So I mean, so that's the thing.
Man.
It's like if you know, and this gets back to my point when I was saying earlier about an uninformed electorate. I believe that if people had a better understanding, and I'm not saying it's anyone's fault per se, but I think if people had a better understanding of how government actually works, because there's a lot of red tape in trying to get that understanding of how all of these people, you know, do anything for like people don't know who their city councilman, what they do. They don't necessarily know exactly what the mayor does. They don't know what some of these department heads within their public works sector. They don't understand how those pieces work all together. And that's the thing, is that if we had a way to get people invigorated to understand that this is your livelihood that's at stake when you decide that you don't want to engage, these are the kind of problems that you wind up getting. And I think it's an opportunity for us to, you know, I'm not necessarily saying I'm out here trying to change minds, but you know, it's an opportunity for us to all be able to educate those who simply just don't know. Because I think that's really what it comes down to, is that a lot of people just don't know why they're voting, you know, and then you get the straight ticket thing. And that's why change doesn't happen, because we're just in these comfort boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see a lot of. You're not going to see a lot of straight ticket shit this year.
Wish there was a way to do metrics on that.
Yeah, but the good thing is I do see a lot more people that I wouldn't even dream would know what the fuck a Democrat or Republican is paying attention to politics. So it is bringing a lot more people to the table, trying to figure out what the hell is going on in their cities and their state, local, and, and national. So people are learning. And that's the last thing. Like these guys who've just been riding the wave for the last few years. That's the last thing they wanted.
Man, I think that's the thing. Because you know, I went back to my hometown and we talked about this in our chat. It's like, it's not saying that the people who are in these positions of power that have held them for decades, it's not like they're bad people. But what are they doing? You know, are they there because they occupy a space? And that gives them a little bit of something, or that gives that community a little bit of something. But what are they actually doing with it? You know,
Ryan, you didn't have to put that up. I'm
but you said, what are they doing?
And he distracted me.
You said,
what happened
with the power?
No, what'd you say, Brian? I'm sorry.
No, I was looking at David's his
Man,
comment.
shut up.
You said, what are they doing with the power? Is that what you're asking, Rich?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it is basically that. Like, what, you know, because you're getting elected, you're supposed to be a public servant. What are you doing? You know, like, and I think that's the thing. Because even, you know, because we've talked about this with you know, during the 2016 election, it's like Clinton gets in there, what's going to happen? And I think that's where, let's say if Joe Biden wins, right? What happens? Like, are we just going to be like, okay, well, we did it, you know, wipe our hands and then we just go on about our merry way? That's not how this is going to work. Like, there is a lot more change that has to happen between now and us actually making our communities better. Because right now where we're at, it's just, I was in a discussion with this other group that I'm working with, and I used the analogy that America is in a really, really bad. They're in a really, I won't say bad, but they're in the middle of a workout program, right? And then we're like in the first couple weeks of it, and this shit is horrid.
Yeah. And
what is happening now is either we have one of two choices: either we're going to quit and continue to have things that work the same way that they are, or we're going to actually slowly continue to keep pushing this thing and getting better over time. And I do think that's the way that we want to go, because I don't think anyone's here that wants to just sit here and chill out.
Exactly. And just like the workout analogy, once you quit and let things keep going the way they are, you get sick and you die. This economy will destroy itself.
Right.
I do not want to see this country have a heart attack randomly in the middle of us just living here.
Right.
Oh, shit.
Let me go ahead and post that.
Damn.
That's just horrible. It's disrespectful. But
It is what it is.
At least I got my point out first.
yeah, you got your point out. I don't know, man. It's just vote, y'all. Just fucking vote, please. If y'all need a ride,
You know
let
what,
me
man?
know.
Before you say that, before you say go vote, learn about who's on your ballot. Then go vote. Because because I mean, I'm definitely not saying that a person could, if they're like, hey, I just want to vote straight ticket, do your thing. It's your right to do whatever you want, but it would be a much better choice to make an informed one. That's all.
Thank you, David.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And look at your provisional ballot before you go. Like now is a perfect time. You got exactly a month. Read about those candidates. I know this sounds like a preaching moment, but hell, I did it for the primaries to where now I pretty much know who I'm gonna vote for the most part, unless they do something really stupid real quick.
Hold up, we got some gleaming wisdom coming from Sosa. What you got?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Good talk. Good talk.
I'm not.
Good talk.
I don't want you to think I'm picking on you, Sosa, but you just like said, "Oh," and then that was it. Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. Backtracking a little bit. About the having two more debates. Y'all said that we didn't learn nothing. Like, I don't think these people who are supposedly undecided or on the fence or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what the fuck? He didn't. It's like you're fighting in a fight. You got to take the title. Biden didn't do enough to take the title, but shit, Trump didn't do shit either. So it was like a draw where you saw both sides worst.
What's bad about this whole thing, this election, policy is not going to win this election for either of these guys.
No,
this is pure emotion. This is pure emotion. This is feeling. This is anger. This is just frustration with the way we've been going. So to be honest with you, they could have asked Biden anything they wanted to last night, and he could have just recited the ABCs, and we'd have been like, "Yep, that's what I'm voting for. I got it. I'm just sick of this motherfucker over here."
You know what? No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying we actually could be. I'm not saying we are, but it's possible we are leading ourselves into more ruin than we're in now. But it's to the point now where we're just emotionally drained from the person that's in there, and we'll do anything to get out of it.
I saw this one political commentator said this. He was like, the difference between the two candidates last night is that you could turn the volume to mute on your television, and their body language was completely different for most of the night, right?
Yeah.
Like, Joe, to be honest, I mean, he looked more composed. He had a much more calm demeanor if you weren't listening to anything he was saying. But if you looked at Trump, the entire time, it's like he looks like he's, antagonizing. Looks like he's always anxious. He's ready for a fight. Yeah, sweating. I had to give him credit though, man. He didn't look like Orange Man last night. His makeup actually looked all right.
You can only give him credit for that.
Yeah, I give him credit for that. His makeup team looked, I was like, okay. It's like,
because under those lights, he would have looked really like a fool.
Right.
He probably had on some of that. He probably had on some of that Fenty.
Oh man,
damn it!
Good and well, Rihanna. Don't even do Rihanna like that with her phone. Don't even do that.
Man.
But yeah, body language. Okay, let's say you were having a conversation with a group of people, and one of the people had Trump's body language. You would have fought that guy.
Yeah, I would have thought he's on coke or something.
Like, hey man, what's up with your man over here?
You ain't lying. You got a problem with me?
Exactly.
Something about my son. I ain't got a son, but you.
Why
he
is
wouldn't even
Haynes
have to say
doing
that.
that?
He wouldn't even have to say that. You just
What,
you got
what is this?
What?
What is this? What is
Did y'all see what Rob posted? Like these people just.
man? Nah.
Do they not see Biden when he gets off the plane and does stuff like
Hey,
he ain't
hey,
like your president? Like if Trump like had to run from something, Biden would catch up to him. If you know what I mean. Like
Man, it's funny. Rob's last comment, man, is that there is literally a hashtag talking about Joe had a wire, and it's like y'all are out here taking
and
this
where would you
L
have even
hard.
seen it if that's the case?
Yeah, well, because apparently humans listen through their skin and not through their ears. So apparently that's some new age bullshit.
So what was the thing on Trump's head then? That they showed online.
That was,
Y'all see that?
That was the lace front wire that went around there.
I was gonna say it's that lace.
I'm just
front.
curious. I didn't know. I didn't have a conspiracy theory. I was like, that's where they hold the hair in or something.
Probably. You weren't supposed to see that, sir. Somebody gonna knock on your door like 2:00 in the morning, sir. We got a report that you were talking about some
on the
shit
internet. Why are you mad at me?
But Brandy, jumping ship. I have heard a few people looking at like one-way tickets. I swear, like legit about to leave the country. Trips to Ghana. I've looked at round trip tickets, $600 right now to Ghana. Right now.
Yeah, but I mean, that's if you're planning
April.
on. But I mean,
Are
I guess
they
if you're taking a
taking
round
us?
trip right now.
We're infected by corona.
Yeah, I was gonna say
We are.
You know, there's no such thing as corona. Birds are fake, and 5G is killing everybody.
I was about to say it. We talked about that.
Damn it, Brian.
We had a good heckle about it.
But I don't know about jumping ship. To be honest with you, man, if somebody said, "Hey, your country's burning, come on and leave," kind of feel like an obligation that I need to stay just to prove to people that things can change.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to, throw the bathwater out with the baby. Is that what they say?
You're right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to let what people feel beat me or defeat me. This place can be an amazing country, and there are ideas in this country that are amazing, and I feel the spirit of this country is amazing.
We've honestly treaded through a lot worse when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, historically, I mean, we know that, but
for us, this is probably the most we've personally went through.
I would agree.
Outside of somebody who may have like been to combat or something, but like it's just civilians, this is the most we've probably been through.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but for us, this is horrible. For us, this is hell. But I guarantee you bring one of us from like 1700, 1800, they'd be like, well, I'll take this shit. Right. All they doing is saying shit behind your back and not touching you.
They gonna be for one, your clothes not as hot. I don't have to wear wool, burlap.
Now again, speaking of that, I saw somebody put up the whole T-shirt again with "Don't let stand back and stand whatever get your ass whooped." I am not my ancestors. Stop
I don't like
doing that, y'all.
I don't.
That's not.
Yeah. Say that again, Sosa.
I hate that fucking mean T-shirt. Like that's straight disrespect to people who marched.
Mm-hmm.
Got fucking beat down for the Detroit riots.
Yeah.
Like just on and on, all these racial, the fucking Oklahoma, not Oklahoma, is it Oklahoma City? Tulsa.
Yeah.
Shit like that. Like that's disrespectful, man.
To say
and it's ignorant.
To say I am not my ancestors is saying that those people were there because they were just weak and couldn't help it.
Correct. Right.
They
had significantly less options than we do.
Mm-hmm.
And they were in the truest sense of the word a victim of circumstance. So there is no way that I would equate myself and my hardship to what they had to go through by no means.
No,
so,
because if they took the actions we want to take, we probably wouldn't even be here right now if
Correct.
they took those actions. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah, we stand on their shoulders.
So that's not it's not a compliment. It's not funny. So I just really wish people would not put that on a t-shirt. That's not anything you should put on there.
Oh,
And then like I think part of the imagery, whatever of it, well, what they're implying is they didn't fight, like they didn't put hands on people.
Right.
You need to go back and watch fucking newsreels or something. Just look at the news of the riots where they fought back against the police, National Guard, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, that's just really stupid.
Yeah.
people just watch movies depicting that. They didn't watch true documentaries, didn't read any memoirs. You know how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and like, guys, if you really want to know about stuff, and I didn't learn this until college, like, go to like, and a lot of those places you can't because you pay for it. You can look at archives if you really want to know stuff. Look at archives. They'll bring it up on their little projection thing where you look at the spells.
Yep.
It will blow your mind. The stuff like us colored people, quote unquote, have been through, and how be like, oh, a Negro has died. Not even your name in the newspaper. So just remember that stuff. How far we've come.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So vote.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers.
Oh, look what Rob. Have you posted what Rob posted? Because I'm tired of talking about the orange person. Yeah.
Deion Sanders is getting big-time players to come to Jacksonville State. He may have an HBCU team that is really good here before long.
I hope so, man.
Great.
Huh?
Your fake radio voice is great.
You act like you don't work on the radio.
That's how I talk. That's how I talk to people. I do that all the time. I'd be ordering food and shit like that. I'd like the steak.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's dope though. I mean, Deion's doing amazing things. I don't know if anybody's been paying attention to what this man's been doing behind the scenes, but low-key trying to take over the football game.
Yeah, we need that.
You better watch out. They'll off him too.
Yeah, because the NCAA about to off themselves. So
they've been fucking up for a while.
Offing themselves right now, because I honestly think the Power 5 conferences in football could pull away from them and it'd be nothing. They'd be nothing. Then all the NCAA there is to do a schedule, because if they lose them, there's no money really left. I think they should. The NCAA is just a scam.
Yeah. Let's do something random. Anybody got a random, like, bring this shit down a little bit to talk about? Anything happening in R&B?
Oh, you mean, or bring it up from the depths of the
yeah, bring it up.
Yeah. Shit. I don't know, man. It's been a week. It's been a week.
They talking about the cream of wheat guy replacing him, because I was so offended.
I don't even remember what the cream of wheat guy looks like.
Is that that's the older guy. He kind of looks like
it's the Black Chef.
Yeah, kind of looks like Satchmo.
Oh, now I get it. I haven't eaten cream of wheat since
I've never eaten that. What the fuck is that?
It's a nut. It's a It's another one of those things, man, where it's like, I think somebody in a boardroom was like, you know what? The blacks, I think they're offended by this.
My God. This nigga said the blacks, the Negroes.
Yeah. It's one of those pacifying things, like we're supposed to applaud them doing that. I don't give a damn.
Right.
I don't. I mean, as long as they don't say nigga on the box, I don't care. I wasn't offended by Aunt Jemima or any of that. I mean, it was horrible, and the story behind Aunt Jemima was horrible, and Uncle Ben's was horrible. This dude died penniless and never got it down from the company.
Oh, like Famous Amos?
Yeah.
Remember when I was in either high school or college? Like, he used to do like tours about about
he still doing tours.
He's still alive?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit!
Okay. Yeah.
Famous is still doing tours.
Okay, yeah. So at least I'm happy he makes money off of that, because they took that shit and never gave it back.
Oh yeah, they shit him. Now I do like hearing stories about Uncle Nearest. That's the guy who created Jack
Daniels.
Daniels. They didn't do anything like push Jack Daniels off the shelf. He just made another whiskey for Uncle Nearest.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like they incorporate him a lot. Even the family acknowledged him all through this time, so I'll give them that. So they didn't do it like a lot of companies do. Oh, we're gonna steal this from him because he has no say so, and he can't read anyway. No, I'm being fun. I'm not being fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
I got
true.
you.
From back then, this is the 1800s, so that's what they would have did.
Yeah. So back on the voting thing, everybody, please go vote. I did hear that somehow they were unregistering people. What the fuck is going on?
I checked. I'm good.
I check mine honestly about once every 2 weeks.
How do you unregister somebody to vote though? Like, how does that even work?
Somebody told me that happened to them, and they voted in the primary, and somehow that happened. I'm like, they trying.
Yeah. I mean, I went to the primaries to vote, and I walked up to do my little thingy thing, and the lady was like, "You already voted." I was like, "See, y'all about to start that bullshit. I'm gonna turn you over." And she was like, she said, hold on. Okay, I found your name. I was like, don't
blame me.
Exactly. And I hope people know in South Carolina, if you requested an absentee ballot, you have to use it because if you show it to the polls, they're not gonna let you vote. If not, you have to take your absentee ballot downtown to give it to them.
I'm debating on how I'm going to vote this year for whether or not I'm not going to vote on election day, but it's either early voting or if I'm going to do a mail-in ballot.
Yeah,
I haven't decided yet.
And that's one thing.
I'm standing line.
We need to change. We got to help change that here in the state because this is ridiculous. And I know it's set up because this state is red as hell. They don't want people to have easy access to do shit.
Yeah,
which you know what, man? That I think for me personally, that is the craziest thing about the way that voting has been treated.
Oh yeah,
because it's like we're talking about the right to have a weapon to kill a man, but the right to change a man's life, it's like, nah, we got to limit that shit. Like it's just nuts that this is where we are.
How soon can you register before the
latest? Actually,
for South Carolina, North Carolina, I think
that's your brother right there, right? So South Carolina, okay. I'm about to look it up right now so I can get the real date.
I think is it the 18th or the 8th?
I'm about to click right now. There is way too many links right here. That's the way.
See, exactly.
They're trying to make it hard for you.
You see, that's exactly my point. Exactly my point.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, you have up until the 4th of this month.
No. Okay.
October, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
They had an easier link. The frequently asked questions is way too many questions. I found it. Oh, October 4th by 11:59 p.m. if you do it online.
All right.
You have to have it emailed or faxed in by that time as well.
Brandy asks thoughts on Kamala and Pence debate.
She is going to wipe the floor with him. Because
I honestly think this is going to be very interesting because both of these people are chomping at the bit. Pence has been wanting the spotlight since he got as he just can't get a word in edgewise with dude in front of him. And I'm surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump takes like a church seat and sits behind Pence so he can interrupt for no goddamn reason.
Wow, Rob, I just read what he said. I'm sorry.
But closeted bastard.
Yeah, that's what we got.
But yeah, so that's gonna be super dope. B, I'll send you that link in a minute. So I do think that debate is gonna be good. Go ahead, Rich. I'm sorry.
No. I think there's one thing that Kamala Harris has had a hard time defending herself on, and that was when it comes to marijuana and how her record as a prosecutor and as a lawmaker have factored into that. Like she hasn't figured out a good way how to be able to defend her record yet. And I think that's really like the only place, because I'm gonna be honest with you. If they keep saying like they're the party, like Trump kept mentioning the stuff about law and order, right? Chick was the AG and the prosecutor for a state. Like
Mhm.
she was the top cop. How are you going? How are you going to try to make that claim anymore that hey, they're not the party of quote unquote law and order? And that's literally what this woman did, regardless if you like her or not. I mean,
can you make a whole debate off of that though? Can you destroy somebody for a whole 90 minutes?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, a whole 90 minutes off of that.
The thing is though, it's about public perception as we've shown. They don't care if she could do everything right, and if she made one mistake, she failed just because.
One thing. So they can go after her for that, but she can go at Pence for his handling of the AIDS in Indiana, the AIDS epidemic at the time in Indiana, and how he was. Isn't he like the chairman of the task force for COVID?
It's some yes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he
your boy didn't want to
he is.
Your decision making as a politician, as a leader, is very questionable. Yeah. I mean, and she could just get his ass. I mean,
she's that. You know what? And that's the thing, man. It's like she's a lawyer. I mean, she knows how to construct an argument. So that's the thing. Debates are not supposed to be about winning per se. It's about how to take your argument and show that you have the better viewpoint or the better stance on the argument. That's what a debate is supposed to be. So when we get to their debate, that's going to be the one that's going to be
more of substance.
More substance. I think we'll get more out of that one. I'm looking forward to that debate more so than Biden and Trump.
Yeah. And that's sad. It's like the two head people was like I said, a dumpster fire. It was trash. It was hot garbage. It was garbage truck juice. So everybody
watching CNN. That's what they said. Or you wrote for them.
For people to look forward to getting more substance out of the VP debate is a sad situation. I'm not saying the VP is any less intelligent or can form sentences any less eloquently than the president should. But that's not how it's supposed to be. It's not.
Right.
But it is.
I mean,
and Kamala's an amazing woman. I mean, am I saying it wrong? Kamala. Oh, Lord, if I meet her, I'm gonna say Kamala, and she's gonna slap the shit out of me.
You'll allow it.
She's gonna stomp you out.
Yeah, I might.
You heard me, Brian?
What?
She's gonna stomp you out in her Timbs.
Oh, you stupid.
Lord, they attacked this woman for wearing Timberlands.
Oh my God.
Done.
I'm like, we can't evolve on this stuff, but I forgot. They don't believe in. They believe in evolution. They don't believe in evolution. There you go. So they don't believe in anything that's changed anything. So
So Earth is flat. Birds are fake. 5G killing you. I don't know what the birds are fake thing is. What are they? What is that? Are they supposed to be cameras?
I don't know, man.
I did hear that. Like I legit heard somebody say birds are fake.
Birds are fake. What's a chicken? A chicken's a bird.
It's a plant.
A chicken is delicious with some Texas Pete. That's what a chicken is.
Texas Pete? I'm not a Texas Pete fan.
What?
I'm that guy.
What? Yeah, right.
Go over here, my guy. Texas Pete just tastes like hot. Ain't no flavor. Just tastes like hot.
You just learn about people sometimes. And you just like, do I really know this
flavor? Texas Pete tastes like hot. I'm gonna stand by that.
Texas Pete is delicious.
Nah,
and I don't talk about this because this is some stereotypical.
Have you ever had the Chipotle Tabasco though? You've had the Chipotle Tabasco? Yes, I am a Nirvana fan. I love their Unplugged album. That's actually my favorite album, to be honest.
I think you were just asking.
Oh yeah, love on Nirvana.
But okay. So we're at an hour 4. Anybody got any shotgun topics? Anything they wanted to get off their chest? Anything you want to talk about? Anybody that's listening or watching, y'all got anything you want to scream out? Brandy gave us our opinions on the Kamala.
Kamala, motherfucker.
Why can't I do it?
Like the punctuation, comma, la.
I'm proud of Brian too.
Proud
Hey,
of me for
me and
what?
David got the same favorite album. Yeah, I love that
Oh.
album.
Thank you, Demetrius. I appreciate it. Demetrius is such a sweet lady. I appreciate you, Demetrius.
I think The Man Who Sold the World was the best song I liked on that album. I don't have any shotgun topics off the top of my head.
Anything happening in music? Anything happening in movies, TV, film? I think Avatar's coming out. Rich, you gonna watch Avatar 2? You gonna watch Avatar 1 before Avatar 2 comes out?
Nope.
No,
Nope.
not at all.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Me neither. Me neither. But
Still looking forward to Punk Ass Batman.
Yes.
See, there you go. There you go.
Yes.
There you go. Yes,
Oh,
I
shit.
am. I am
Fox versus
looking.
the
I am
Braves.
looking forward to it.
I like it. Thank you, Rob. I forgot about that.
I'm so excited that the White Sox made the playoffs in the first time in I don't know how long.
Hey, I want to know, Rob, when did you become a Braves fan? You can type it in the chat. I'm just curious.
Tell God to stop messing with us. I ain't got no control over that. At this point, God, like I'm letting y'all do what y'all want. Y'all won't listen to me. You won't read my book. You won't come see me. I don't give a damn. Matter of fact, I'm sending dinosaurs down there in a few minutes.
Hey,
Y'all better pray.
There was a quote about that, and I'm gonna read the quote to you, and I want you to guess what movie it's from.
Okay.
The quote is by a character that Steve Buscemi played, and it's, "Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he created?"
Jeez.
Bars.
I don't know.
Bars.
Oh man,
What was the movie?
Spy Kids 2.
Are you serious? I was about to say, what movie I was thinking about. Wasn't he a Tarantino movie? Well, one of Tarantino's first movies. I thought it was that movie you were talking
Yeah,
about.
I was overthinking that way too much. Just
I
now.
was thinking like I was thinking like 93, 92 type stuff. Oh my god.
Man, I was watching like one of those like 10 best movie quotes, and it was like, oh, that's hard. And I was like, wait, what the shit?
Yeah, Rob, you got me because I remember that, but like no. I think were you one of their fans when they had the light blue and then the navy Atlanta on the jersey? Like that's throwback. That's before me.
That's Hank Aaron, isn't it?
That's like slightly. Maybe not. I know that's Dale Murphy more so.
Oh, okay.
Dale Murphy and shit, not Phil Necro. Phil Necro, yeah, too, but somebody else. I think like Bob Horner was a pitcher then.
Oh shit.
Yeah, throwback, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, we talking about baseball, Brian? Hey.
Yeah, that's why I got quiet. I don't know shit about this.
The sports.
Bored the shit out of me just now.
The sports.
We'll
Sip
give us
my
our
drink.
props.
I'm just
on
going
baseball.
to shut my drink. Anyway, guys, if you want to listen to our past shows, as a matter of fact, let me put the
Yeah, do that.
thing up here. Do.
I'm just gonna drink now.
Did you just flash?
Leave me alone. Sometimes I double click. Shit.
Oh.
I had to double click it.
Last time you did that, I'm like, that's like on those shows where they be showing the reruns and the credits like zoom by. That's what Brian.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck
But,
these people who work behind the scenes. Zoop. On to the
Link
next episode.
Tree/Company podcast. That's where all of our audio is from all 120,000 of shows we've done. I think we've been doing this for almost 3 years.
2 years.
2 years. But we are continuously putting up our new. I am sorry. And it's
Are
on
you?
me. Yes.
You are.
Putting up the remainder of our shows. We got like 8 shows left to put up, and we'll be caught up. So copy that link.
Fuck you,
follow it. Listen to Florida's going to Wait a minute. No, Rob.
Florida ain't gonna make it because they're gonna be COVID fucking infested. Get here. Yo, DeSantis the dumbest motherfucker. I don't give a fuck.
Big suit bastard.
That motherfucker open up the state on Saturday. On Monday, COVID cases, the new COVID case was like 700 something. And then the next day it jumped to like 3,600, yada yada. How? You motherfucker. You dumb motherfucker.
No. But like I said, copy the link tree down. All of our audio's there. We're on all of our outlets for the audio. And of course, the show is on YouTube. So if you want to watch it, if you want to look at us and listen at the same time, you can go to YouTube and
unedited on YouTube.
Yeah. So go there, add us, like us, comment, share, all that good stuff. We're trying to grow this. We got to get really, really serious about growing this. I think we got a good thing here, and I think our audience is a bunch of amazing people. So we will see you guys next Wednesday. We may see y'all next Wednesday. I'm gonna talk to these guys about taking at least a day off if nothing happens. But I got a feeling.
I was gonna say, man, that debate's next week. We gotta talk about that.
Yeah.
No, you know what? That debate's on Wednesday, so never mind. Maybe that is the week.
Maybe that might be our week off.
But that's a whole 6 days for nothing to happen. And if you've been paying attention, 2020, something happens every 2 days. 2. So we'll see y'all next Wednesday. Y'all, thank you so much for allowing us to keep you company, and we'll holler at you. Peace. Now I'm gonna hit this end broadcast button.